Hello, it is me again. I hope you're well. I'm back with another video. If you do not know, my name is Alex and I'm currently living in South Korea. And not only am I living in South Korea, but I'm living in Daegu. And in this video, I am going to talk about the pros and the cons of living in Daegu. Personally, I am absolutely loving living in Daegu. I couldn't recommend it enough. However, some people are more inclined to live in Seoul or a place like Busan. But Daegu for me is a perfect mix of big city with everything you need, but I will get into that further in the video. So without further ado, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. And yeah, so here's the pros and the cons of living in Daegu. So let's start on a positive note, the pros of living in Daegu. So Daegu is the 4th largest city in South Korea. And being the 4th largest city, it has everything that you need. It has great restaurants, it has good bars, it has good tourist attractions, it has good pretty much everything you need in Daegu, you can get it. So if you're a foreigner coming here to visit as like a tourist, or if you're coming here to live, you can make it a home away from home. Like you won't really get too homesick. Well, at least I didn't get too homesick because it felt very similar to two places that I've visited before. And a good thing about the size of Daegu is that compared to other cities, for example, Seoul or Busan, there is only one downtown area. So everything's just all in one place. Whereas for example, in Busan, there's like 3 or 4 mini little downtowns and everything is so spread out that it takes forever to get anywhere. And this leads me on to the second pro of living in Daegu, and this is the connections, the transport, and just your way to get around Daegu. So Daegu has a metro system and it's 3 lines and it takes you all the way as north as you want to go, all the way south you want to go, all the way east, all the way west. And if you can't get where you're going on a subway, then you can always get a bus, and the buses are phenomenal here. Whether that's an intercity bus to go outside of the city to like Seoul, Busan, Daejeon, anywhere like that, or if you want to get anywhere else within the city, the bus system is amazing. So personally, I live in like the very southern tip of Daegu. However, to get me into downtown Daegu, I literally just have to get a bus, it gets me straight there, I can hop on the metro, and then bish bash bosh, I'm there. And also with Daegu being like more or less in the center of South Korea, it can make your life very easy for getting into Busan. Like it takes me just over an hour and a bit to get into Busan. The KTX gets you all the way to Seoul also. So yeah, if you're worried about like the location of Daegu, it's perfect, especially for like cities like along the east coast as well, like Pohang or Ulsan or Gyeongju. It's a perfect location to visit all these places. And another pro of living in Daegu, so despite it being a big city, and it definitely has a big city feel, is surrounded by mountains. And wherever you go, you can like just see the mountains surrounding it, and it is beautiful. And it's not only beautiful, but like you can obviously escape the big city if you need to. There's some famous mountains here. So you've got Apsan Mountain, you've got Bisulsan Mountain, and it's very easy to hike. There's cable cars, there's well-maintained paths and everything. So if you do get overwhelmed by the big city, there are perfect like hiking trails in and around the city. So these are just some of the pros of living in Daegu. However, some of the cons of living in Daegu. In terms of the mountains, so actually the mountains cause Daegu to sit in a kind of basin. So it's like sunk and surrounded by mountains. And this makes it extremely hot. I think every video that I've put up on this channel, I just spoke about how hot it is in Daegu, and it's only June time. Like I'm filming this in June, and despite me being in a jumper, like no judgment please, I am sweating. Like Daegu isn't really going to be a place that gets snow in the winter time, and Korea in general gets hot in the summer, maybe like 30 degrees in most places. However, Daegu gets like 35, pushing 40 degrees. I can't even fathom the idea of living here in August. Like I literally am melting just thinking about it. And it's not like the kind of good hot. It's not like the sunny hot and like you're on a beach hot. It's like the muggy, humid, sticky hot. And this is something for you to consider if you do move to Korea, because if you don't cope with the heat well, Daegu is not going to be it for the summertime. So another downside of living in Daegu, this is one of the things you kind of just have to make it what it is. However, Daegu is like considered the more conservative city within South Korea. So in Daegu, you won't find, not to my knowledge, any queer venues. You can find it difficult to find any dedicated POC venues. There are places that you can visit which are foreigner friendly, and places that you can definitely feel comfortable in. But in terms of like little things, like me painting my nails in Daegu, who is she? Like this, honest to God, like I don't know how I'm feeling confident enough to paint my nails. However, like the amount of stares, the amount of like looks and comments that I get about my nails, like it's just paint. It's just paint. say if I was living in a place like Seoul or Busan, I think it would just kind of be brushed off a little bit more, especially because there's like queer venues and more accepting spaces in Seoul especially. And if you are ever in need of a place for like POC people, queer people, anywhere just to simply be yourself, there's a fantastic project that's just been set up called Unique Situations. So big shout out to them. So they provide bars, restaurants, and places that you can go to completely feel comfortable with just who you are. And I've definitely used them a lot of times. So thank you so much to Unique Situations for helping me find places within Seoul, within Busan, and right here in Daegu. So I'll leave a link down below if you want to check them out. And it's got a great guide of places. They've even got places for Jeju City as well. So if you are visiting there in the summer, be sure to check it out. And yeah, and also in Daegu, it is less likely you're going to come across a place that speaks English. So even though there is a big expat community over here, so you've got the military bases, you've got 3 military bases, I think. You've got many EPIK teachers, you've got many English teachers, but compared to places like Seoul or Busan, you're not going to get many places that will speak English well. Maybe this is a pro or a con, but it kind of forces you to learn Korean a little bit more, and it's kind of harder to get by if you do just know English. Of course, there are people and there's things like Papago that can help you out along the way, but yeah, just bear in mind, if you do come to Daegu, it's kind of like the more authentic Korean experience of you gotta know a little bit of Korean. But saying all this, like the pros and the cons, it is really what you make of a place. I'm not gonna lie, you're probably not gonna like find yourself here in Daegu. However, you can definitely create yourself like with the community that's here. The expat community is really good, and you are kind of just getting the more authentic experience within Korea, but within a big city. So it's like the best of both worlds in my opinion. And if you're like really not liking Daegu, then there's always places that you can go that are very close by, as the transport system is very good over here. But honestly, I could not recommend Daegu enough for me personally. I've not really felt too much culture shock over here when I've moved to Daegu. However, some things, for example, like painting my nails, expressing who I am, and it has been difficult. So do keep that in mind if you are considering moving to Daegu. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, I will link the Instagram account down below of the account with all the POC bars and the safe spaces, along with my Instagram. So if you have any more questions, please let me know. If you want to know what life is like in Korea, life is like in Daegu as an EPIK teacher, hit me up. I will definitely respond to you. So yeah. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, wonderful morning, whatever time of day you're watching this. And I will see you next time in the next video. Bye!